Hi, I'm Dylan, and I'm talking to you guys about my community that I find personally invested into. I need to start with a question. So, what do you guys think is the fastest sport here in the world? Any guesses?
Ping pong.
Ping pong?
Basketball.
Basketball? Soccer?
Badminton.
Oh, wow, you're a smart person. It is actually badminton. An underrated sport here in the United States, and often called the Asian sport just because of the lack of diversity and how it originated in the Asian countries. I've personally been playing for about 3 years, and I love every single minute of it, teaching as well as playing. So the badminton community to me is where I find is a place where I find myself most comfortable with. Starting off, like everything in this world, it may seem scary at first, but the friends you make, the memories you have with these people, as well as the abilities that you gain from it, outweigh the cons or disadvantages that this sport or community has. So why do I identify with this community? First, again, it's my passion. I love doing it. I love teaching people. I love playing it. So you can see me in these gyms, anywhere that there's badminton, I most likely will be there. And it allows me to be who I really am. I'm kind of a competitive person, so I like to do competitions and participate in these competitions, and I like to win. So this is one of the reasons why I play it. And like this picture shows, it allows me to find my closest friends. So without being in this community, in this sport, I would not have met my best friend as of today. And his name is Joseph, and he goes to Irvine. Very smart guy. So the first thing first I want to do is I want to teach you about the unspoken rules that this community has. So some of the unspoken rules that there are is not being loud or screaming during play. This is very obnoxious and often seen as disrespectful to the people who's playing at the moment. Another thing is not saying sorry or saying sorry after hitting an unintentional shot. What an unintentional shot means is when you're hitting the racket, or not the racket, you're hitting the birdie or the shuttlecock and it's going in a way that you didn't intend it to be. That is called an unintentional shot. And to show respect, we often say sorry for what we have done. And another thing is not walking through someone's game. So even though it sounds explanatory, it actually happens very often, which is unfortunate because there's a lot of, it's very dangerous to walk through the game because you can potentially get hurt or hurt the person who's playing. So these are some of the rules. And so let's actually get into the nitty-gritty of badminton. So badminton, there's actually 3 events, so you'll find something that's most attuned to you. So the first event is doubles, then there's mixed, and then there's singles. So doubles is usually what most people start off to play with when they're first beginning the game. It's the most basic sport, the most basic event that most people go into because they're starting off with a friend. So they're most comfortable doing it. So the next thing is mixed. What mixed is a co-ed event with both male and female. A fun fact to know is that badminton is one of the few sports who do this, a co-ed sport. And I personally have played mixed for the last 3 years, and I loved it because I was able to meet one of my best friends, as well as I had a really good record with it. And if you're gonna play mixed, maybe you'll find that little someone to spend the rest of your life with. You never know. Life works in all different ways, and maybe that's the way life is going to you. And the last event is singles. Singles is the most competitive sport, or most competitive event, because most of the professional players go into singles. It's a lot of strength and endurance just to do this. So if you really want to do it, you can go ahead and try it out. So the cons of badminton is it's super, super expensive. A racket costs upwards to $250. The birdie costs about $30, as well as a place just to use it or just to play costs almost $8 to $10. And much of this is due to the less recognition that it has. I believe if we're able to bring more people into the sport, everything will drastically go down in price. And another thing is that the strength that you're gaining from it is focused in a couple of areas, which means it's your dominant hand as well as your dominant leg, because you're moving around and focusing most of that strength and conditioning into those areas. So the pros. So the pros is that, again, you can create everlasting memories and friendship with these people. All the grit, the grind, all of that, you all going together, and the friends you make is incredible. Another thing is, funny story is, you can play literally forever. I've seen people in their 60, 70-year-old playing at, you know, Bintang or BBC, which are these places where people play badminton at, and they whoop kids out of the building. It's crazy. You literally hit them, they'll return every single shot wherever they want it. And I personally got kicked a few times. You know, I got my ass whooped. It's crazy. And some of the abilities that you gain are fast reflexes, improved hand-eye coordination, quickness, stamina. All of this can be contributed from the game of badminton. And it's also a low injury sport, so you don't have to get or be worried about having a serious injury such as, you know, football or hockey. So in conclusion, badminton again should not be a underrepresented sport or underrated sport because there's too many benefits not to play. So, you know, get up, go ahead and grab a racket, grab a couple friends and go out there and have some fun. Because at the end of the day, when you're old and you can't seem to move as well as you did, you can go ahead and grab that racket and go ahead and whip some kids over there at the badminton center. Thank you. Any questions?
How much is your racket?
So I have a racket that's it's called an Arc Saver, and it can go up to like $200. It's pretty goddamn expensive. Yes, yes.
What are the birdies made out of?
So there's plastic birdies. That's usually on like lesser competitive, I guess, events. But they're actually made up of feathers, and the feathers make it go really fast, and those can cost up to $8 to $12 per like tube, and that tube contains like maybe 6, and in each event they go pretty fast. They last maybe around 7 rallies, which means going hitting back and forth, so they don't last long.
Where are the feathers from?
Well, I mean, they're not real feathers.
Oh, really?
They're like refined and manufactured in factories, so they're not actual feathers. But back then, they were real feathers. Yes, sir. Oh, okay. Thank you for your time.